Okay, so for this flow, we're going to begin with our knees together in child's pose. So bring your knees together, sinking your hips back onto your heels, and arms are resting down by your sides, palms facing up toward the ceiling. Bring your forehead down to the mat, and just start to breathe. Taking deep inhales and exhales through the nose, and maybe rolling side to side. On your forehead, just massaging that out. Good. Coming back through stillness, grab a fold of the heels, draw shoulder blades together. Roll onto the top of the head. And then sink it back down. Being really mindful of your neck. Good. And then bring the arms forward. Place them by your head. Palms facing down on the mat. Inhale to lift yourself up, round up, spider crawl the fingers forward. Drop your pelvis down. Come all the way down to your belly. So hands should be resting on either side of your chest. Inhale, lift the chest for a little cobra. And then slither back using your spine, every vertebrae into that closed knee child's pose. Keep your hands planted right where they are as we inhale. Come forward, drop the hips, drop the belly, maybe a little bit higher in cobra this time. And then take it back. Good, this time come forward. Drop it all the way down. And then on your next inhale, lift up, look up. And then round it and tuck your chin towards your chest. Come all the way back down. Inhale, lift, look out over your left shoulder. Come center, take it down. And inhale, lift, look out over the right shoulder. Come back through center, take it down. Inhale, lift, up, high cobra this time. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Again, inhale, lift it up. Straighten the elbows. Exhale, bend the elbows, having them point back behind you, lower down. This time, we'll lift the chest. See if you can let the hands hover an inch off the mat as you do this. Keeping your head forward, gaze is down at the mat, really making that low back work. Maybe you interlace fingers behind the back, lifting yourself up. And release, forehead comes down, plant your hands on either side, lift yourself up and back into that child's pose. And then coming up into a tabletop, taking a couple rounds of cat and cow. Inhale, lift, exhale, round. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Tuck your toes, send your hands about a handprint forward, hips go up and back, downward facing dog. Taking a couple moments here just to pedal the knees out, waking up the hips and the backs of the legs. Pressing that tailbone up toward the sky. Drishti or gazes between your knees or all the way up at your belly button. Ears between your biceps. Find stillness. And then bending the knees as much as you need to, walk your feet up towards your hands and find a nice relaxed forward fold. You can stay in this forward fold with the top of your head pointing down toward the floor. You can grab opposite elbows. Maybe taking ragdoll pose. Swing side to side if that feels good. As you exhale, see if maybe you can sink just a little bit deeper. Straighten out the knees just a little bit. Let your hands release from the elbows and then slowly roll up to stand, stacking one vertebrae at a time. Good. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, bring your fingertips to your shins, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach, hinging at your hips, come all the way up to stand. Palms touch overhead and then exhale them down to your heart. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold it in. Arms reach out and up. Palms touch overhead, maybe taking a tiny back bend at the top. And then exhale. Bring your hands together at your heart. Good, one more time. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Okay, now that we're nice and warmed up, come to the top of your mat, bring your big toes together, keeping a space between the heels. We're going to sink our hips back, bring our arms by our ears, and find chair pose. So gazing down, you should be able to see all of your toes, tucking your pelvis under, sending your tailbone down toward the floor. Exhale, straighten the legs, fold it in. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Left foot steps back. Inhale, reach up, bending into that front right knee for warrior one. Your back left foot's at 45 degrees. Step it up, and then change sides. Step your right foot back, bending into your front left knee. Maybe warrior one on the other side. Good. Step it together at the top of the mat. Come back into that chair pose. Bring your hands together at your heart, and then take your right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Bring your hands together, making sure your knees are in line. And then inhale at center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale at center. Good. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step it back, find a plank position. Knees can be up or down here. We're going to shift forward, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, lift up for cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, find your down dog. Reconnect with your breath. On the next inhale, right foot lifts up to the sky. Step it through. We're finding warrior one once again on this side. So back left foot at 45 degrees. Straighten that front knee. Bring your hands to your hips and then fold over that extended leg. Finding pyramid pose. Back is flat, bringing your nose towards your knee. Left hip coming forward, right hip going back. Good. Rebend that front right knee. Step back, plank. And then take another vinyasa. Lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down dog. Good. This time left foot lifts. Step it up. Warrior one. Straighten that front knee. So straight but soft, making sure you're not locking or hyperextending. Square your hips forward and then fold. Good. Rebend that front left knee, step it back, find plank, take a vinyasa here. And exhale into downward facing dog. On your next inhale, right foot lifts up to the sky. And then exhale, step it through. Back foot parallel with the back edge of the mat. Get rid of my dog hair. And bending into that front right knee. You have a heel to arch alignment. So that back foot's parallel with the back edge of the mat. Right knee pointing toward right pinky toe side of the foot. Straighten the arms. And then reverse your warrior. Float that front forearm down to the front thigh. Top arm over the ear coming into modified side angle. And we'll flow through that one more time. So Inhaling warrior two. Exhale, peaceful. And then back to side angle. Come down, frame that front foot, step it back, vinyasa. Exhale into downward dog, same thing, other side. Left foot lifts, come forward. We're in warrior two, reverse. Float down through modified side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, peaceful. Last time. Good. Come around. Step back. Lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down dog. Good, step that right foot forward and then face the long edge of your mat, bringing your feet parallel, toes facing and heels out. Stand up, press the hips forward, lift your chest, and then when you're ready, hinging at your hips, folding into a wide-legged forward fold. Letting the hands fall wherever's comfortable for you, so maybe under the face, maybe they come through the legs. You can grab opposite angles or big toes. Good, inhale, lift it up halfway. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, lift up halfway. Bring your heels and toes out. Sink your hips down. Find a goddess squat, goddess pose. Bring your hands to the thighs. Take your right shoulder forward, left shoulder out to the side. Twisting over to the left. Inhale through center, lift the chest, tailbone going down toward the floor, and then take left shoulder forward, right shoulder back behind you. Other side. Good, bring it up. See if you can take the hands off the thighs and then maybe lift that right foot, that right heel off the mat. Set it down. Take the left heel up. Set it down. And then maybe both heels lift. Sink your hips a little bit deeper. Good. Let it go. Straighten the legs, 5-pointed star. And then heel toe your feet together. Step it up to the top of the mat. Inhale, reach. Tiny back bend at the top. And then exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back, find plank. From here, take your forearms down so that your elbows are underneath your shoulders, and then set the hips down, untuck the toes. So we're in a Sphinx pose now. Take your front forearm parallel, the right forearm parallel with the front of the mat. Bend your left knee. See if you can bring your left heel a little bit closer to your left glute. Just opening up the chest, stretching out the quad. Gaze can be forward or back behind you. Good. Changing sides. Left forearm parallel with the front of the edge of the mat, and then we're bending that right knee. Good, release it. Coming back into our Sphinx pose. And then from here, you're gonna come down to your chest, so down all the way to your belly. Bring your arms out to a T. And then looking out over your left shoulder, bend your right knee so that it's in line with the right hip. So you have this 90-degree angle in the right leg. Right foot is flexed. Coming into this sort of half frog pose, opening up that right hip.
If you want to deepen the stretch, you can take your right arm underneath the left and bring your shoulder down. That's going to be a pretty intense shoulder and upper back stretch, so just be mindful. Don't do anything if it hurts. Nothing should ever hurt. Good. And then slowly release that center. Straighten that right leg straight back behind you. Keep it lifted off the mat. And then take it to the outside of the left foot, rolling onto your left shoulder, gazing out over the right shoulder. So left cheek is down on the mat. Come back through center. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So this time, left knee bends, left foot is flexed, your knee is in line with the hip, and then you're going to look out over your opposite shoulder. Good, release center, extend that left leg straight back behind you, keep it lifted, and then take it on the outside of the right leg, looking out to the left. Good, come back through center. Place your hands on either side of your chest. Inhale, lift up through cobra. Bend the knees, come through tabletop, and then tuck your toes, hips go up and back. We're in downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot lifts up to the sky. Bend the knee, open up the hip, maybe take some circles with the knee. Good. Step it forward. Hands framing that front foot. Lower the back knee down, untuck toes. Inhale, lift up. For low lunge. Low crescent. Good. Hands frame that front foot. Tuck the back left toe, lift it up. We're in a low lunge with the knee lifted. Runner's lunge. And then set the hands down. Bend your knee, so lift that foot off the mat. Hugging your core in, thigh to belly. Three-legged dog, inhale, lift. And then flex that foot, bend the knee, come into pigeon pose on the right side. So your right knee's behind your right wrist. Foot is flexed, that left leg is straight back behind you. You can sit up nice and tall for one breath. And then exhale, fold it over, release. Good, plant your hands on either side, lift yourself back up, tuck that back toe. Again, hug your thigh to your belly. Three-legged dog. Set it down. Changing sides, this time left foot lifts. Step it through. Bring that back knee down, untuck toes. Inhale, lift it up, low lunge, low crescent. Hands frame the foot, tuck that back right toe, lift up. Send that left foot back. Three-legged dog. Let's bend the knee, open up the hip. Take a couple circles. Even weight press into your hands, making sure you're not falling into your right shoulder. And then flexing that foot, coming into pigeon on the left side. Extend that right leg straight back behind you. Untucking the toes, lift your chest up. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, fold it over. Noticing the difference on each side of the body. Just taking note of which hip feels a little more tight than the other. And just keep that in mind. Working on hip tightness, giving your tighter side a little more TLC. Good. Plant the hands. Lift yourself up. Tuck that back toe. Come back into your three-legged dog. And then set it down. Set the knees down, bring the feet out to one side. And we'll come into Baddha Konasana, butterfly or cobbler's pose. Hands come to the ankles, elbows to the insides of the knees. Inhale, lift the chest, exhale, fold, pressing the knees away from one another with the elbows. If you want to take it one step further, you can take your arms underneath the calves and round in for turtle pose. Good. Lift the chest up. Bring the knees together. And then sitting up nice and tall. Planting your hands on either side of your sits bones. Spine is long. Inhale, reach the arms by the ears. And then folding from the core, folding from the center of the body. Find Paschimottanasana. Fold it in. Inhale, lift. And then bring your fingertips underneath your sits bones and start to drop your arms back behind you, drawing shoulder blades together, lifting up through your chest, pressing into the elbows, lifting the chest, again, shoulder blades drawn together, and then let the head fall back behind you, finding fish pose. It's a really great posture to boost immunity. Great if you're sitting at a desk all day. Just really good for the spine. All right, so coming down to our backs. Lowering down nice and slow. Knees are bent. Bring your heels a little bit closer to your seat. And then heel toe the feet out a little bit wider. Just start to drop the knees back and forth. Windshield wiping back and forth with the knees. Good. Find center, heel toe the feet back in together. And then bring your arms by your sides. We'll inhale to lift up, finding bridge pose. And you have the option to interlace the fingers underneath you, drawing the shoulder blades in a little bit closer, lifting up a little bit higher. Good. Release the interlace of the fingers. Set everything down nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. Good. Hug the knees in. Give yourself one nice last squeeze. And then plant the feet down. Again, knees still bent. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Right foot is flexed, right knee pressing away from the body. And then drop that stretch over to the left. So left knee comes down, right foot comes down, arms out to a T, or you can bend the elbows, goalposting the arms, gazes up at the ceiling or out over right shoulder. If you want to deepen the stretch a little bit, you can see if you can grab the left toes and just bring that left heel a little bit closer to your seat. Making sure if you do this, you can still keep the back relatively flat. And then
Good. Unwind nice and slow. Same thing, other side. Left ankle crosses over right knee. Left foot flexed, right knee pressing, or left knee pressing away, sorry. And then drop everything over to the right. Little supine spinal twist on the other side. Really starting to deepen the breath, maybe even closing the eyes. Good, come back through center. Unwind. Bring your knees out to either side of your belly, in towards your armpits. Grab either the outsides of the feet or the big toes with your peace finger, so your pointer and middle finger. And pressing the low back into the mat, see if you can bring your knees toward your armpits, finding a happy baby. Maybe you find a little rock side to side, just massaging out the spine. While you're in this pose, notice how it makes you feel physically, but also take note of how you feel mentally. You don't call it happy baby for no reason. Good. Give yourself one last squeeze in. And extend everything out, finding your Shavasana. Let your feet flop open, arms resting by your sides. And feel free to pause the video here if you want to take a nice long Shavasana. It's always good to end your practice with this pose, just to let everything settle, everything sink in, and reap all the benefits from your practice. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me for this practice. If you liked it, be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel. And share this with your friends or family if you know someone in your life that could benefit from some yoga. And again, thanks for flowing along.